This is a video reviewing the underwater 3D scans taken on the I-90 bridge over the Rock River near Luverne. These scans were taken on October 6th in 2016, and they were done to compare versus the underwater 3D scans done on December 14th of 2015. This is an overview shot of the scans at all four piers. In the foreground is Bridge 67805. To the left is Pier 2. To the right is Pier 1. And in the background is Bridge 67806. Again, Pier 2 to the left and Pier 1 to the right. The overall comparison between the scans done in October of 16 and December of 15 is that the channel has filled up quite a bit at Pier 2 of 67805, otherwise has stayed relatively stable, maybe filled in a little bit more at all of the rest of the piers. We're going to go through each of the piers individually now. We'll start at Pier 2 of Bridge 67805 in December of 15. That was the worst piling exposure. This one has filled up quite a bit. Now there is approximately 1 to 2 feet of the piling exposure. The footing is still completely exposed, but the piling is filled back in. Some of the debris is still there. There's some tree that was basically planted out front, and then that tree that was buried between the 5th and 7th pile is also still there. You notice also that there is some dune formations, or looks kind of like that, so a lot of the sediment flow is centered around that pier. All right, next we'll look at Pier 1 of 67805. This one's fairly consistent to what between December of 15 and current. There is between 2 to 3 feet of pile exposure at this pier. And then between the two piers and across the entire channel between the two piers on both bridges, the channel bottom is relatively flat. So it has between 3 to 5 feet to go before it gets to the top of the footing. You could fill back in 3 to 5 feet for that. All right, we'll quick review the piers at Bridge 67806 as well. Pier 2 is now has the most exposure, piling exposure. Between probably 4, maybe 5 feet of piling exposure at that pier, has the deepest section downstream. And then you move across to Pier 1. Again, the channel bottom is relatively flat. It comes up a little bit between the two piers, but not much. And that has approximately 1 foot of exposure of the piling below that bottom of footing.